Hello everybody, it is Foreign and welcome back to our final part. So rendering. This is actually a big part of creating an advertisement or anything like that. So as you can see, a few things have actually changed. I did go back in, adjusted some things, moved some things around, and I think I still have something wrong. I do. It's just SquidGrip. I tend to be kind of forgetful, but don't worry, I make sure that everything comes out right. So now we're going to add this to the render queue. So we have our little tab, the render queue. Another way that you guys can do this, you can select it in your project menu, and then I think it's composition, and then add to render queue. So here we go, we added it to the render queue. We're going to save our... Normally you want to actually have these render out into its own folder. So like I like to do renders. So I made my own folder for this. And then I like to do numbers just in case I have to keep doing it. So now we are going to hit save. That's where we want it to save. But now the big thing is our settings, our actual settings. So we'll actually go into each of these and I'll explain a little bit about what they do. So the render settings themselves, you click on best settings and you can come in here. Now we can change the quality. You can do, just really low quality things if you want to just get tests out like that and you just want to kind of see how things are. Wireframe, not recommended. Wireframe will actually take like that logo and it'll just be like a box with like a square through it. So I don't prefer to use it, but that's just me. So what we're going to do is best, obviously. We want full resolution. Otherwise, it'll be all pixelated and chunky, and we don't want that. Disk cache, we don't need that. Proxies, we're not using proxies because we're not using like actual video files. Effects, all of them on. Obviously, you want to make sure that effects are always on. Solo switches, I don't even know what half this shit actually does because honestly, like, there's very few circumstances where you'll actually use it. So the only thing that really does matter in here is the actual working area, which is right down here. Now, sometimes you want to do the whole length of the comp, which is, whatever you set it to be before. It could be 40 minutes, but I could have only used a small portion. So normally what I like to do is work area only. So I'll set my in and out points accordingly with the I and O key. But that's not something that we really need to do. We're doing 20 seconds, so start to finish, it's from 0 to 1929. So that's 20 seconds. So we're good on there. So we'll just hit OK. And then we'll go into lossless. So we'll click lossless. This is the output module. This is what we're actually going to be rendering to. What we do want a QuickTime. QuickTime is very universal throughout everything. A lot of people think that it's for Mac only, but that all depends on the codec that you actually use in it. And I'll show you those in just a second. So we're not going to resize it, which is this section right here. We don't need alpha. We don't need alpha, and we're not cropping anything, and we also don't have audio for this. I'm assuming that during this stream they'll be playing normal audio, so this'll, I don't know, they'll put whatever to it. It doesn't actually matter what the audio is. So what we need to do though is format options. So this is going to bring up our video codecs. This is where it gets a little bit confusing for people that don't know what they're doing. There's a lot of options. Apple ProRes is something that a lot of Apple users will know creates very large files, but they're lossless, so they're not compressed. So you're not having to uncompress and recompress the file to work with them like an H.264. Apple ProRes is used for mainly like Final Cut, things like that. But what we want to do is we want H.264. H.264 is probably the most universal codec known to man. It is used in any, video software. Everything that's on the internet is most likely H.264, if not Flash. But a lot of people make the mistake of just, okay, well, it's an MOV render. Well, animation doesn't work everywhere, and it also creates extremely large files. That's not something we want. We want to make sure that we're keeping our file sizes as low as possible, but with the most amount of quality. Another thing that you can do is you can do Photo JPEG. Photo JPEG is like an H.264, but I would actually say Photo JPEG is more usable but it's not necessarily meant for streaming on the web. So we're gonna go with H.264. Those are the main ones that I use, or you can use MPEG-4, which would be what the Elgato pushes out. So we want 100% quality. What we want to do is we want to limit the bitrate. Now, a normal Apple ProRes file will sit at a bitrate at about 100 megabytes per second, which is a lot. So that means that this 20-second project is 2,000 megabytes, which is 2 gigabytes. So for a 20-second file to be 2 gigs, that's huge. We don't need something like that. What I like to do is, a good rule of thumb is around 10,000. 10,000 kilobytes per second, so 10 megabytes, is pretty good for a bitrate. You get a really good quality. It's not overly large. You don't see much of a difference between that and like 30. You won't see much of a difference, at least not to the naked eye. So we're gonna make this 10,000. So 10,000 kilobytes per second, and yeah, that's all it is. So anyways, now we're just gonna hit the render button. You guys don't need to see that because it's gonna make my computer just go batshit insane because it doesn't want to do that right now. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna save our project, and that's all I have for you guys. You guys will see the finished product during the UMG stream. After UMG is done, I will also post the video file myself, and then you guys can take a look. So anyways, I hope that you guys enjoyed, and I will talk to you later.